Hi guys, I'm just hopping on tonight to talk to you for a few minutes. I thought tonight I would talk to you a little bit about why I specialize in working with postpartum women. And I actually got a question after my last video. Somebody was asking me that exact question, so I figured I would just jump on here and talk to you about that. So thank you so much for watching, and if you're catching the replay, thanks for watching too. My name is Ashley Brown. I'm a Pilates instructor in the beautiful New York City, and I work mainly with one-on-one clients, or have in the past, but I've recently gotten into a little more of an online presence, and I've created programming for that group as well. So anyway, like I said, I was going to talk to you about why I work with postpartum women. So originally, when I first got certified, I got my certification in Pilates, but I also then went on to get my degree in exercise science at Appalachian State University. Go Mountaineers! And I started teaching after I graduated from school. And I was working with everybody, kind of general population stuff. Eventually I went on to open my own studio, and I started working with everybody, again, general population, but of course we did have some clients coming in that were either pregnant or maybe were recovering and postpartum. So I would work with them, of course, as a business owner. You're not going to turn anybody away, and I would talk to them about what they were feeling, how they were doing, and of course I always had a really great certification and my degree in exercise science to back me up. So I had a good understanding to start from. As I was working with these women, I would develop great relationships with them. It takes a lot of trust when you're working with someone, especially when they're pregnant, and if it's their first pregnancy, of course, because they're going through a lot of changes and they really have to get stronger, and they have to really trust you and trust what you're doing. So I had a lot of people. Oh, Meredith, I see you. Hi. She was actually one of my amazing clients at my studio that I was working with postpartum. She was great. And so we both learned a lot, and we would talk to each other about what we were doing and how things felt. So after I left my studio in North Carolina, I moved to New York City, and I was up here. I was working for a few different studios in the city, and I realized that this was kind of a special area. A lot of instructors were really afraid of working with pregnant women or people who were postpartum and had any kind of trauma from that. So quickly the studios learned that I wasn't afraid of this population and this group of people, so they would send more of them to me. So I started kind of working more and more with prenatal and postpartum women, and we kept talking and learning. I took some continuing education courses as well along the way, and just kept building up that repertoire. And a little bit of it is different from my background, which is kind of classical Pilates background. You have to modify some things, but I think it's really important to train through pregnancy. It's probably one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing your body is ever going to have to go through. So staying active, staying healthy, obviously really important. As I was working with all these women at the studio, like I said, I kind of started to realize that it was a little more of a specialty, a niche area. And then that kind of continued after I left the studio and started working on my own, doing my own one-on-one clients. I had more and more referrals from, who else? Moms, because nobody likes to talk and refer people more than women, right? We are really good at helping each other. If we think something is great, we're going to tell somebody about it. If we think something works, we're going to tell them about it, and we're going to encourage someone to do it. So we were in the city, and I was working with a lot of different postpartum women. Thank you. Oh, that's so great. My body was better than ever. Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we miss you too. I really miss you. I wish I could train you. You can do my program. I'll make something for you. We can do something online and do some virtual training. It'll be really fun. Anyway, so referrals are everything. That's how I built my business. That's how I started working with more and more moms. And this recurring theme of moms not knowing what to do. They would have the baby, their doctors would kind of send them home. They'd come in for their 4 or 6 week final check, usually. It might be a little longer if you had a C-section. And they'd say, yeah, everything's fine. but a lot of the muscles were still damaged, and there was a lot to deal with. And so a lot of people didn't know what exactly to focus on, how to strengthen and rebuild like the pelvic floor muscles, if they had some kind of tearing or splitting in the abdominal wall, often referred to as diastasis recti or diastasis recti, depending on where you're from and how you pronounce it. I'll just call it DR in the future. So anyway, because of this problem, because of so many of my clients having issues with postpartum musculature, I started to structure these new programs, and I decided, you know, this really needs to be accessible to more people. So I started to build up my online program. I've been kind of honing in my exercises and figuring out what works, what doesn't work, when I'm not there to help you and to put you in the right position. So I'm really, really excited about this new program. It's called Postpartum Pilates Rehab, and that is because I do believe that you need to rehab your body after going through such an amazing miracle that is very hard and very physically demanding. So I'm going to be getting on here to talk more about my program in the next few days. I'll be on here tomorrow to give you a little more information about what exactly to expect. And we also have an awesome interview coming up later this week with a physical therapist friend of mine who's going to talk about what happens during pregnancy, what happens during labor, after pregnancy, and the work that she's done with the same population, and what she likes to focus on and how that helps her and how she helps her clients. So be sure to tune into that if you're interested. I think the interview is going to be on Thursday afternoon, but I will keep you posted. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So that's how I got started with Postpartum Pilates. If you found value here, if you want to know more, please follow my page on Facebook, also on Instagram, and there's more information going up on my website every day about this awesome new program. So if you have any questions from me, if you have anything you want to know, just let me know, and thank you very much. That's it. Bye guys, have a good night.